So it's happening over in Ukraine. Russia is invading. The administration had to have a 24-hour debate about whether this is an invasion or not. It looks like an invasion. Yeah, it sounds like it's an invasion. It's an invasion. Our reaction so far, rather mild sanctions. A lot of that was all talk. But look, I hope it all works out over there. Take a look at what's going on so far. I don't believe this would be happening under President Trump. I don't. Recent history suggests it would not. And also, just the personal diplomacy between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, I'm not surprised it's happening under Joe Biden. But under Trump, no way. Take a look. I mean, I'm sorry. This is significant stuff. This is domination. And some people say, oh, this is superficial. It's not. It actually means something. Have you noticed? Ever since Biden got there, the whole world is reacting to Putin. What about the other way around? Joe likes to go around saying this. I don't believe him, but it's a good talking point, or at least he thinks so.
I said, America's back. And the response was, for how long?
So they say, we see America's back, but for how long? I just got back from Europe meeting with heads of state. One said to me, I said, America's back. And he said, for how long? When I went over, I said, with those 7 leaders, I said, we're back. And the response was, for how long?
That is just a talking point. He made it up. But as far as for how long America is back, I think we truly left the world stage or left it more vulnerable when he lost Afghanistan. We all saw it, all right? When that happened, we lost status, we lost prestige, we lost strength. Joe lost a lot of political support at home. We are weaker because of Afghanistan. And a lot of very smart people believe what's happening in Ukraine now is because of Joe's weak leadership, both abroad and at home. And there is a track record for this, by the way. You'll notice that Putin invaded under Obama Ukraine in 2014. Let's go back a little bit further. In 2008, Putin moved into the Republic of Georgia under George W. Bush, who was at about 32% in the polls. And here we are in 2022. Once again, Putin is making a move. You notice we didn't show you Trump in any of that because Putin stayed within his borders. And I have to give it to Donald Trump himself. Nobody can sell it like he can. He's right when he said this.
I was proud to be the first president in decades who did not get the United States into any new wars. I took us out of endless and ridiculous wars. Remember when I was running, they were all screaming, he'll start a war. He's that kind of a guy. No, I'm the one that got him not to fight because they didn't want to mess with us. Totally rebuilt the military. Nobody wanted to mess.
It's true. It sounds simple, but it's true. You know, Donald Trump and other recent leaders were not afraid, at least, to appear in public with Vladimir Putin, be in an environment where they may take questions, where Putin could possibly play a game and try to turn it on the president. Joe Biden wouldn't even allow that to happen. When he had an availability after the big summit in Switzerland, it was by him and him alone. He was afraid to appear on stage with Vladimir Putin. All right, now I'm very curious, and I don't think we can find out the answer anytime soon as to Joe's handling of the crisis right now, because he is compromised because of Hunter, because of himself. Shall we take a quick look at the numbers? He's received money, the Bidens have, from both Ukraine, $3.5 million, and Russia, $3.5 million. Remember, the mayor of Moscow's, the wife, this is all in the Senate report, funneled huge amounts of money to the Bidens. How is that impacting on how Joe handles this? I don't know, but it is impacting him. I want to play you this.
Yesterday, I met with the General Prosecutor Shocking.
Yes.
And despite of the fact that we didn't have any corruption charges, We don't have any information about he doing something wrong. I especially asked him, no, it was the day before yesterday. I especially asked him to resign.
Great.
And this is my second step for keeping my promises.
I agree.
You hear the relief in Joe's voice that they're going to fire the prosecutor who's looking into Burisma? The relief? Wow. And the president recorded that phone call. Goes on, I granted you your second favor. What's up with that? Here's Joe with that Ukraine president back then, former Ukrainian president. Everything's fine, right? Now, everything's not fine. Joe is compromised. I don't know exactly what that means in terms of his actions, but he's compromised and he's working for himself, not for us. That's what I'm afraid of. By the way, you just heard how it actually went down. He's on the phone with the Ukraine president. Look at how Joe tells the story.
I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Sorry, tough guy. That's not how it happened. We all heard it. You were begging for a favor, probably for Hunter. Bad stuff. Meanwhile, Putin seems to be in charge of the world right now. Did you see the speech last night to the Russian people? Kind of angry guy. He really is committed to do this. So who's going to stop him? Kamala Harris to the rescue. Did you see this? She went to Europe over the weekend, went to Munich, and in my opinion, she made matters worse, definitely for herself. Let's face it, she's not good at being vice president. She's just not a serious person, and that was on painful display. This turned out to be a seminar. I don't think she wasn't ready for it, like an academic seminar, and the guy was asking her essay-type questions. Take a look.
Without the United States considering herself a European power, we're actually quite powerless.
There was a lot of this. What the hell am I going to say? And then, you make an answer. You're talking while you're thinking, while you're trying to come up with something. There was a lot of that.
I think that the heart of your question really does demand the importance of the perseverance and enduring nature of institutions and alliances.
Right. One more.
There are skeptics who would probably not have a hard time finding evidence to the contrary over the past period. What do we need? What do democracies need in order to do better and to convince our peoples that we can do it?
Ambassador, I think this is one of the most challenging issues of our time.
All right, so there's a great big filibuster, just kind of wasting time, and then somehow she weaves it back to build back better and infrastructure.
So, for example, in the United States, again, with thanks and with great attribution to the congressional delegates that are here, we passed a bipartisan infrastructure law that was one of the first in generations that will deliver on the needs of the people. So I would say that the strength of democracies and the way that democracies will prevail, one measure of that will be, does it actually deliver for the people?
All right. So at one point, she knew what was going down. At least she wasn't giggling, but it was the opposite. I mean, she was in trouble, okay? She's like, this is not, someone's going to get fired or someone's going to get yelled at so bad they're going to quit. We've seen a lot of that from her office. All right, so welcome back to America, Madam Vice President. In the meantime, the Russians mean business, and you know what? It looks like they've got the military to, well, achieve what the president wants. They do. The Russians have gotten good, and so have the Chinese. They're not messing around anymore. Who is messing around? Who's taken their eye off the ball? We have. The Pentagon, at one point, it was the most potent military in the world headquartered there. Right now, what the heck are we focused on? Everything that's not important. All of this nonsense. And generals Generals live in fear of getting yelled at. They do anything to avoid getting yelled at by some silly senator. And the soldiers and the Marines have to spend all their time making sure that this doesn't happen.
When you say to us, it's got to be different, that rings hollow. I don't know what you mean when you say that. Why does it have to be different? Because you all of a sudden feel that it has to be different? Do you think the harassment ends online? It doesn't. I can tell you, your answers today are unsatisfactory. They do not go far enough. And I would like you to know what you intend to do to the commanders who are responsible for good order and discipline.
I could be wrong, but I don't think this happens to the commanders of the Chinese military and the Russian military to be publicly berated like this. Now, some of them deserve it, yes, but we've got a big problem with the Pentagon. I hope Trump comes back so we can fix it. We'll see.